falls over the crowd. Shh. Well, good morning and welcome. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to Vision. We're going to celebrate today, so why don't you stand and join us? My good is my God is my good. All the good there is belongs to me. My good is my God is my good. All the good I seek belongs to me. That's my truth with a capital T. It's all about living free. My good is my God. My good is my God. I have all I ever need. My good is my God. My good is my joy. My good is my joy. My joy is my good. All the joy there is belongs to me. My good is my joy. My joy is my good. All the joy I seek belongs to me. That's my truth with a capital T. It's all about living free. My good is my God. My good is my God. I have all I ever need. My good is my God. About love, my good is my love. My love is my good. All the love there is belongs to me. My good is my love. My love is my good. All the love I seek belongs to me. That's my truth with a capital T. It's all about living free. My good is my God. My good is my God. I have all I ever need. My good is my God. My good is my God. My good is my God.
Good morning, and isn't there a lot of good these days, right? Welcome to Vision, the Sunday celebration, as we join together here. Welcome to our online guests, as well as all you beautiful people here in the sanctuary. It's just lovely to be here. And I just would invite you to just settle in, because we're going to start with prayer, shall we? And just feeling the gratitude of the abundant good that fills our hearts, our lives, this room, this world. So grateful for this beautiful day, the blue sky, the wispy clouds, unusual here in San Diego. And just knowing that it is all spirit, it is all the divine, out picturing in so many wonderful ways through our lives. Spirit is nearer than our breath, closer than our hands and feet. It is everywhere, always moving into a greater expression of itself, into a greater expression of us. And I feel that movement of life right here, right now. Knowing that we are blessed simply by our participation today, knowing that we are blessed here through this service, knowing that simply all is well, for all is God, and so it is. So again, welcome. My name is Reverend Jeanne Phillips, and I'm one of the staff ministers here at Vision, and I am just so happy to be here, and just so happy that you're here, and that that you're here to enjoy this wonderful celebration. We have a great deal of fun ahead for the next hour. We have music. We have our celebration singers. We have our guest soloist, James Higgins, wonderful. We have meditation. We have prayer. We have a talk that I hope will inspire you through the week. So you're in a good place. I'm glad you're here. So I just invite you to just kind of settle in and just be here now. That's what I'm doing. So I also want to talk about the support that we offer here at Vision. And truly the best and largest part of our support is our wonderful practitioner body. We have over 30 practitioners, and in fact, some are in the room. Stand, practitioners, so we can all see. Yay! Yeah. So these are licensed spiritual counselors. They have gone through years of training to hone their skills in healing and affirmative prayer, and we are so fortunate to have them. They have come with a desire on their heart to serve. And so they are asking you to use them, always. All right. And there are many ways we can use them. First is through, for the online people, the website. There are their names and phone numbers are there. Also, there is a virtual meet and greet that is after the service that you can join in and then meet one-on-one with a practitioner. And there's also prayer requests, and they are in your bulletin for those of you that are here, and also you can put your request on online. And those requests are sent out to all the practitioners, and they pray on them all week. And if you leave your phone number, one of them will even call and leave you a prayer on your phone, on your voicemail, if you'd like. So many ways that we are here to support you, and no reason not to be supported. So I encourage you to utilize it. We also have a wonderful greeting that we say for our guests, as well as for just for ourselves to remember, right? It's on our welcome packet, and it helps to remind us how connected we are, heart to heart. So I just invite you to say it with me, if you know it. Whoever you are, and wherever you are welcomed here. You are safe, and you are loved. Yeah, and you are truly loved. And now it is time for our celebration singers to sing our centering song and get us prepared for meditation.
Child of the living God.
Good morning. My name is Ruth Starwell, and I'm a licensed spiritual counselor here at Vision, and it's my honor to serve in the prayer and meditation time this morning. So please take these quotations into your heart as we move into the silence and allow the tones of the bowl to bring you in and out of a 5-minute silent meditation. The first quote is by Sam Keen. The ability to feel is indivisible. Repress awareness in any one feeling and all feelings are dulled. The same nerve endings are required for weeping and dancing, fear and ecstasy. And from Ernest Holmes. Peace be unto thee, stranger, enter and be not afraid. There is room in my house for all. Sit and rest and refresh your soul. So I invite you to join me in prayer. Just being present in this moment, knowing that God is good all the time, right here, right now, that we are supported by that God presence in each and every moment. And I know this is true in these 5 minutes of meditation. I know it's true in each and every step of life. I know there is no separation from this goodness of God that blesses each and every one here, and that your presence here blesses each and every one here. And so I know and acknowledge the gifts that are given by those that are here to serve in so many ways. The gifts of our talk this morning by Reverend Jeanne, the gifts of our music by James Higgins and a band, and the gift of opening to our greater community through technology. That it is all good, that it is all connection, that it is all God expressing. And so I'm so grateful for this opportunity to be in prayer, to be in service, to be in connection. Knowing that it is always good, be it rain or sunshine, that is God's blessings that are happening right here, right now. And so with gratitude, I allow it to be, and so it is.
In this confusing world, it's difficult to know where divinity resides. There's so many distractions and so many things that hide the truth, but you're lucky today because you get to hear James Higgins sing, and that's one place where you know that Spirit resides. So please welcome James Higgins.
On this day, I say a prayer, and on this day, I bow my head, and on this day, I take a vow, and on this day, Lord, show me how. Lord, I know that I've been resisting you. Still your light keeps shining through. God, I pray this simple prayer. You know that I need you here. Oh, on this day, I take a simple stand, and on this day, Lord, take my hand, and on this day, oh, I need you, Lord, and on this day, I feel your joy. Lord, I know that I've been resisting you. Still your light keeps shining through. God, I pray this simple prayer. You know that I need you here. take my hand, and on this day, oh, I need you, Lord, and on this day, I feel your joy. Near you, God, I feel your joy. On this day.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Oh. And this wonderful, wonderful day. So this month we're talking all about emotions and how they're an amazing resource to help us learn about ourselves. Our yearly theme from Centers of Spiritual Living is living everyday wonder, living everyday wonder. And, you know, I love how emotions just fits right into that theme. Because emotions really are part of our everyday interior living, right? It's always running in the background, whether we acknowledge them or not, but they're always available, and they're available for wonder. So it is truly living everyday wonder. So earlier this month, Patty spoke about, the differences and interactions between emotions and beliefs and feelings. And then last week, she looked at the highs and lows of aligning our head and heart. So today, I'd like to take the view of emotions as the spice of life. The spice of life. Let's go on that journey. You know, it's not a big leap, really, right? The variety of emotions that we feel, even in a single day, are this delicate mix, right? A delicate mix that affect our mood, our relationships, our perspectives, our reactions. Basically, you could say they spice up our life. Yeah. Spice it up with different flavors and tastes. I have to laugh when I think of the meals that I had growing up. My father's family was German, and so he had been raised on sauerkraut and schnitzels. And my mom, he would always tease my mom, who is Swedish, that she was only raised with 2 spices, salt and pepper. So needless to say, cooking has not been one of my strong points, but I have learned to really enjoy it and to shift and change with it. You know, I used to be afraid to vary from the ingredients, and you know, if I didn't have everything that I needed for the recipe, I wasn't going to make it. You know, so these days, you know, I swap things out, the ingredients, the spices. You know. Sometimes Michael's not that thrilled with it, but you know what? He has never turned down a meal, so there is that. But whether it's basil or cloves, cilantro, rosemary, thyme, all of those, you know, they each bring a distinct flavor, and the key is to balance them, right? It's all about balance, the right blend of spices for that perfect taste. And, you know, our emotions are like that. There are so many types of emotions, right? With varying degrees of intensity. And you know what? Each have lessons and benefits to offer us. Our work is to strive for the balance, to balance them, to balance the entire emotional spectrum. Because that's how we find balance in our life. So one of the biggest problems is we're not very fluent in the language of feelings. We just aren't. Brené Brown, the sociologist, researcher, author, she's everywhere these days because she just put out a book called Atlas of the Heart, which is a wonderful, wonderful book. Plus, there's now an HBO series based on it. But she's all about emotions and kind of the guru of vulnerability. So anyway, she says that most of us can only identify a handful of feelings that we're having. Just a handful. And in fact, basically 3. Happiness, sadness, and anger. That's it. We're kind of at the 2nd grade level of emotionality. You know, we just really haven't graduated much from there. But her research found that there are actually 87 distinct emotions that are universally experienced and that guide our lives for the better or the worse. So here's a dozen just of those 87. Emotions like shame, disappointment, wonder, awe, disgust, embarrassment, despair, contentment, anxiety, stress, overwhelm, surprise, and like I said, 75 more, right? So we hear them, we feel them, we know how they feel, but we can't name them. We have a very difficult time naming when we're in them. And Brown says, when we don't have the language to talk about what we're experiencing, our ability to make sense of what's happening and to share it with others is severely limited. Here's her quote. Without accurate language, we struggle to get the help we need. We don't always regulate or manage our emotions and experiences in a way that allows us to move through them productively. And our self-awareness is diminished. She goes on to say, when you don't understand how our emotions shape our thoughts and decisions, we become disembodied from our own experiences and disconnected from each other. Right? Disembodied from our own experiences and disconnected from each other. So that's why it's so important, it's so crucial to have the language of emotions, to name and know them, and really know them, know how they feel in our bodies, right? And the meaning that we're giving them, and maybe the story that they're attached to. But most of all, to know what lessons they are teaching us about ourselves. That's the advantage. And of course, you know, our preference is to feel only those good feelings, right? We want happiness and fulfillment and joy and love, yeah. But back to that recipe analogy again. What if your cupboard only had sugar and cinnamon? You know, your meals would be pretty boring. Just like if our range of emotions is limited like that. We have boring lives if we only sit in the 3. So let's talk about the more difficult emotions, shall we? Because they also serve us. So I want to start with an experience that I had years ago when I had first started my spiritual journey. So many years ago, but it really changed my perspective of emotions and really changed my life in many ways. So back then, I was in a place of struggle. I was struggling with doubts and fears and pain and just basically full of angst, right? Yeah, I was fresh from a broken relationship. I was facing the prospect of change in career. I was wrestling with deep questioning about the meaning of my life, Just why was I here? And those just basic existential questions were really driving me at the time. So I had just learned about meditation, and I had just started a daily meditation practice. So on this day, I'm meditating, settle in, and I suddenly feel this presence, just this full presence sitting next to me. I mean, and so much that I open my eyes and I turn. Certain there's someone sitting there, and there was not. So I settled back into my meditation, and that feeling remained, that sense of just this light, loving presence was all around me. And in my mind's eye, I could see that it was a bright light. It was filling the room. It was filling me. Kind of like those angels that you see on, little holy cards, whatever. That kind of exuding, and as well as that sense of just love and abiding care, that tenderness that just wrapped me like a blanket. I mean, it was a lovely experience. But as I sat there in it, I started to identify another feeling, emotion that was behind this love. And it was actually a longing, an envy even. And of course, I'm like, wait, what? Why would this magnificent, light-filled being, what would it have? What would I have that it didn't have, right? And it came to me that it actually was envious of my angst, right? All the feelings and the goods and the bad, the fear and the love and the loss and all of it, the joy. It was envious of that. There was a sense of, oh, you're just so lucky. You're so lucky to have this body and this life and this range. I can feel it right now. It was so powerful and has remained with me all these years. At a visceral level, I could feel the preciousness of life, the deep and abiding gratitude for everything that makes up this life, this human experience, all of our emotions. And it completely shifted my understanding and perspective of those negative emotions, that we say, like anger and fear and sadness. Those emotions that we run from or hide from, right? The ones we distract ourselves from or stuff them or deny them or anything rather than face them, right? But I began to see that our emotions they're more on a spectrum, right? So there's the joy and bliss on one end, and there's the sadness and grief on the other end, and both are intense, and both have a purpose. They have a true purpose. They're each guides and teachers about who we are and how we are in the moment. The guides to what we need to do to move into the balance. Because both extremes are fleeting, when you think about it. They're fleeting emotions. And we can't and aren't meant to live there. We live in the middle. We live in the middle between it, because that's where we're connected to the world. That's where we're connected to each other, and that's where we're connected to ourselves. But to do that, to move from that negative side, we want to do that with grace. And in order to do that, here's what we need to do. We need to stop. Stop running, stop that, and just sit, right? Identify, what is this? What is this in the wider perspective of our feeling vocabulary? And then to investigate the emotions, to learn what they have to teach us. But first, we can't be afraid of them, right? Especially those negative emotions. It's so easy to tense up around them. What we need to do is to recognize that they are part of us, despite labels. Leave the labels behind. We need to sit with them when they arrive, even in the discomfort, right? Not to do the spiritual bypass or dismiss them, but to be with them with curiosity, not with fear. And that can be challenging. Sure, you bet. You bet. But the payoff is so worth it. It's so worth it. It reminds me of the Rumi poem, The Guest House. I'm sure you may have heard of it, but it goes like this. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing, and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond, right? As a guide from beyond. So what if we did? What if we treated those hard emotions as guests? If we welcomed them in, we sat with them, and were curious about what message they might have to bring. Well, most likely what we would find is that behind every challenging emotion is an unmet expectation or need. Basically, it's something that's diminishing our life force, our life energy, our divine expression. That's what's behind it. And so befriending the emotion can open us up to the guidance so we can come back into balance, the balance of our true selves. So let me give you a recent example of this. The other day, a friend of mine was telling me she was feeling very lonely, very lost, and she had been divorced for several years, and now her son had just moved off to college, so she was by herself now, alone, for really the first time in her life that she could remember, right? And so she was feeling lost and without purpose. So I sat with her and just affirmed her feelings as she began to explore more deeply what was in her, with a little bit more vocabulary, right? So her feelings were of sadness and loss and grief. But as she looked at it, she discovered that underneath all of that, underneath the pain, was a deep fear. A fear that on her own she was not enough, and that the emptiness inside her would just go on forever. So I asked her if she could imagine the fear being a teacher or guide. And if so, could she think of anything that fear might help her to see, might have a message or a wisdom to share with her? So she sat with that question for a few minutes, and just in silence, and considered it, and then visibly brightened. She said, you know what? The fear does have a message. She said, it wants to help me see just how important the experience of connection is in my life. Because in that, she realized that the true feelings what was really going on underneath her was a feeling of disconnection, disconnected from others, and even more importantly, disconnected from herself, from her life focus, her life purpose, her life force. And with that realization, she suddenly just had a new awareness of her life, a new appreciation of her life, and a surge of energy, a new zest for life, really. She started to list all of the things that, now that she has this freedom and time on her hands, there are many things she wants to do, many ways that she's always wanted, that feed her soul, that she can now pursue. So from sad and lonely to excited and filled with possibilities. It was really awesome to see the shift that happened. And it was just by exploring with curiosity her emotions, just staying with them long enough to appreciate their wisdom. And instead of pushing them away or distracting herself or numbing out, she was able to come back to herself, her true self, the person that has so much to offer and so many experiences still left to have. She was able to tap into the spice of life. Right? Yeah. As Ernest Holmes writes, we are speaking of the power that sustains life, of the intelligence that directs it, and the wisdom that governs it. We are speaking of the love, the warmth, and color which awakes to consciousness in our own being. Right? That's the true self that lives and moves and has its being as us, right? The warmth and color that awakens us to who we really are. Yeah, and yet, it's easy to forget, isn't it? To be derailed by the flood of emotions sometimes. All it takes is looking out at the world and getting swept up in the fear. All those conflicting opinions and predictions, the anxiety of the unknown, the pain of a planet in crisis. Naturally, we want to turn away. We want to distract ourselves. We want to withdraw. Or the other side of it, we may wrap ourselves in anger, right? And project it then onto others by blaming and condemning. But either way, what we're really doing is running away from our emotions. So sitting with them, sitting with our feelings, that takes practice. It takes courage. And it takes compassion, a lot of compassion, self-compassion. Staying aware of our thoughts and our moods and our disposition, that's how it starts. That's our beginning. Naming and exploring the emotions with curiosity and acceptance. Also, creating balance in our activities. That helps our emotional center stay balanced. So exercise and rest and a healthy diet and positive engagement with others, deep self-care, all of this helps us maintain that center point. And of course, most importantly, our spiritual practice. Meditation, prayer, mindfulness. These are the ways we stay connected. We stay connected to that sustaining power that is within, that we talk about as the divine and as our true self in action. So I'd like to end with a lovely writing from a 15th century Franciscan friar, Giovanni da Condo. He wrote in 1513, "Life is so generous a giver, but we, judging its gifts by their covering, cast them away as ugly or heavy or hard. Remove the covering and you'll find beneath it a living splendor, woven of love, by wisdom, with power. Welcome it, grasp it, and you touch the angel's hand that brings it to you. Everything we call a trial, a sorrow, or a duty, believe me, that angel's hand is there. The gift is there. And the wonder of an overshadowing presence. The wonder of an overshadowing presence. All is a gift brought by the angel's hand, right? And provided by that overshadowing presence. It's always there. It's always operating for us, with us, through us, as us. That's the truth of us. And that's what I call the spice of life. So I just invite us all to embrace that today. Thank you very much.
How sweet it is to have God in my life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. How sweet it is to have God in my life. Needed the shelter, someone's arms, and God, there you were. Needed someone to understand my ups and downs. God, there you were, with sweet love and devotion, deeply touching my emotions, yeah. I won't stop and thank the Spirit. I just want to stop and thank the Spirit. Oh, yes, I do now. How sweet it is to have God in my life. Yeah, yeah, yes, I do. How sweet it is to have God in my life. I close my eyes at night, wondering where would I be without God in my life. Everything I did was just a bore. Everywhere I went seems I'd been there before. 'Cause you brighten up my nights and all of my days. And I wanna thank you in so many ways. I wanna stop and thank the Spirit. I just wanna stop and thank the Spirit. Oh, yes, I do now. How sweet it is to have God in my life. Yeah, yes, I do. How sweet it is to have God in my life. Yeah, yeah. You were better to me than I was to myself. There's me, there's you, and there's everybody else. I want to stop and thank the Spirit. I just want to stop and thank the Spirit. Oh, yeah. How sweet it is to have God in my life. Yeah, yeah. How sweet it is to have God in my life. Every day and every way, I want to thank the Spirit. How sweet it is to have God in my life. Yeah, yeah. How sweet it is to have God in my life. Yeah. That's a little spice in your life, huh?
How sweet it is to have you here with us, James. Thank you. So now is our time for conscious circulation. our chance to give and receive the overflowing good that is our life, right? We know that as we share our gifts, we absolutely receive more. For this is a reciprocal universe. As we give, so we receive. Yes. You simply can't outspend God. So through our conscious giving, we become channels of spirit, right, working through our lives. And as Ernest Holmes, I love this powerful affirmation by Ernest Holmes, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. Yes, yes we are. So I invite you to contribute to the financial health and well-being of this wonderful community. And you can do that either by putting your donation in the basket, or just by holding in your heart your gift. A powerful action is underway. So just bringing to mind your gift. Let's give thanks for this, for the abundance and divine supply that is within each of our lives. I know that the gifts given go out to heal and prosper and bless all that they touch. They are physical proof of the spiritual truth, that God is the source and substance of all supply. I know that as we give freely, we receive mightily, and life renews itself. And we are blessed, and all our gifts return multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
As I give, so do I receive, joyfully, gratefully. As I give, so do I receive, fully, freely. God is the river where abundance flows. Stepping into it, I accept and know. As I give, so do I receive. As I give, so do I receive, offering my first and best. As I give, so do I receive, knowing how I've been blessed. God is the river where abundance flows. Stepping into it, I accept and know. As I give, so do I receive. As I give, so do I receive, back to where my soul is fed. As I give, so do I receive. Thank you for my daily bread. God is the river where abundance flows. Stepping into it, I accept and know. As I give, so do I receive. As I give, so do I receive.
And now is the time for our Miracle Minute and our chance to share our experiences of answered prayer. And unfortunately, I don't have any. Perhaps they were all sent to Reverend Patty, and you'll hear him next week. But just know that prayer does work, and that all of our experiences in life are answered prayer in many different ways. So if there is a Miracle Minute demonstration that you have experienced and would like to share, please email them to Reverend Patty, and we'll hear them next week. All right? And now it's time for our last word with John Kirko.
Hello, everybody online too. Welcome. I want to mention to you that today we're continue our Vision Meet and Greet right after our celebration. Join us for one-on-one prayer if you'd like, or just say hello to our members from abroad across the world. Also, Coffee Connection continues 8:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday. Join us for that. Links are available on the website. So this Wednesday, we are showing the movie Coda. So that's going to be right here in this space, this lovely screen behind us. We'll have the movie Coda, which is the movie about parents who are deaf and a daughter who is trying to get through that process. So it won the Best Picture Academy Award for this year. So if you want to come and join us, 7 o'clock, we've got popcorn. Larry, we'll have popcorn, right? Larry says we will have popcorn available. So that starts at 7 p.m. this Wednesday. This Saturday, Reverend Jeanne has got a workshop. Reverend Jeanne, let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay, well, so gentle reminder, we're 1 week away from our next Soul's Journey workshop, and this one's called Thriving in Times of Change. Those are, I think, times that we can identify with. Maybe it's just me, but together we'll explore and heal and grow with tools to move gracefully through change and to find balance and thrive in the midst of uncertainty. As always, we'll have fun and creative exercises and thought-provoking discussions and powerful practices that are sure to support you. So the workshop is this Saturday, May 21st, in person here at Vision from 9:30 to 3:30. We will have a little lunch break. And you can register at the Vision website and just go on the calendar and click on the workshop. And I do hope to see you there. Thanks.
Thank you, Reverend Jeanne. Reverend Jeanne has done a couple of these Soul's Journey workshops, so join her on that. It's this Saturday. Links are available on the website. Be a part of that special little group. Where are you guys meeting? You meeting in here in the 1 o'clock, right here in this room. So be the change. So Vision is looking for a volunteer coordinator. So if this moves you, and you would be, and the way it works is you don't have to do all the volunteering. You just gotta put it all together. You gotta kind of coordinate it. In other words, we've got a lot of people who said, I've got skill sets in this, this, and this, and then maybe I'd like to help. That's what we're looking for, is someone to put it all together, and then when there's a need, they kind of reach out for it. So if that's you, come see me. I'd love to talk to you about that. And you'll be able to share your skill sets with Vision. Thank you already in right now, because I know it's already coming to us. That person's here. We've had some fantastic ones like Patricia Coughlin and some other good ones, so thank you. Speaking of volunteering, core council member. If you're a member of Vision, we'd love to have you join the core council and the leadership here in Vision. Let me know or talk to Mr. Andy Pfeiffer about it. But you can email us at info@visioncsl.com if that's something that moves you and you'd like to be a part of. Next week, Reverend Patty Paris will be back. Her talk title is Mental Blocks and Emotional Conflicts. Ooh. We have the Higher Vision Choir. And James Vandenberg said, you know, you looked at that picture and it looks like it says mental blocks and emotional conflicts. The Higher Vision Choir's got a lot of them. That's not true. Because we come to Vision and we go through that. We get through that process. So that's next week. How about Reverend Jeanne Phillips today for her talk? Thank you, Reverend Jeanne. Mr. James Higgins, thank you for your music today. That man rocks. You know, it's a day like today that I miss our old member Ethelyn Holmes, who just loved James Higgins. She would be here in the front row, just loving James Higgins. So we're missing her today. James has CDs available out there on the table if you guys want to support James. Love to have you for that. And I want to say a big, quick happy anniversary to Janet and Rich over here. 45 years today. So thanks, guys.
Congratulations. Lovely. Well, that's kind of a miracle minute. Yeah. Maybe not. Not a minute. Good for you. All right. Who said that? Anyway, this would be our time to affirm, all right, our affirmations. So I invite you to stand up. because we're about to declare these wonderful affirmations, we want to stand in the power of the words, right? So let's say them right now. Let me find them. There I am. I am blessed and grateful for the wisdom behind all my feelings. I welcome my emotions as guests that guide me to a more balanced life. I embrace the gifts that my true self reveals through my thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Yes, yes. And which one should we? Number one, I'm seeing number one. All right, once again. I am blessed and grateful for the wisdom behind all my feelings. Yes, yes, we are. We are very blessed. So let's just end this in a prayer then. Just giving great thanks for this time together, giving great thanks for this community, for our very lives, for Spirit right here and now moving through our lives in simply wondrous ways. I know that as we move through this week, we are united in our purpose to embrace the gifts of wisdom that are within our emotions and within our relationships and within all of life. I know that all is good, for all is God, and so I let it be, and so it is. Amen.